In this video, we'll be ranking every LEGO Star Wars Endor set ever made from 1999 to 2023. In this list, though, I will not be including polybags or random one-off promotional items. I will also not be including anything from the space battle of Endor. This is purely the stuff on the ground in the trees, so as great as some of those Death Star sets are, they will not be included on this list. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. At the very bottom of the list, I have the First Order ATST. Now, I know that this is not an Endor set, but I just wanted to give you your daily reminder that, yes, LEGO did decide to make this set, and it somehow passed all of the marketing tests, and they thought that it was a good idea, and it's just so disappointing. I know this is an Endor tier list, but this still belongs at the bottom. It just belongs on the bottom of any tier list ever, because it's just that bad. Heading on to our actual rankings, I at the bottom put the original ATST. I mean, time did not do this one well. I'm sure that at the time it was probably a pretty good set. It was cheap, it came with a nice Chewbacca figure, but just modern day, the size, the building techniques, and that color scheme just do not hold up. This set could not have gone any higher up than the very bottom because it's just pretty atrocious compared to modern day sets. Second to bottom is the Endor planet set. Well, the Endor moon planet set. This set, yeah, it was pretty good. It's just a tiny little planet thing though, so I didn't feel good about putting it up higher because it's not much. It was a nice concept, but compared to some of the other sets that offer more play features and more display ability, this one it's not the greatest, so I went ahead and threw it way down here. Coming up next is yet another ATST. This one is the Juniors ATST, and it's got quite a bit of infamy in the community because it just looks weird, it looks derpy, I've heard people call it, and I mean, it's for kids, so I can't be too harsh on it. It's got good minifigures at least, but yeah, this one just absolutely cannot belong any higher on the list. I don't really have much to say about it other than just, if you're not a 4-year-old and you don't need a Scout Trooper, don't buy this. Now, I am just barely beginning to realize that all the best ATSTs LEGO has ever made have not been based off of Return of the Jedi, strangely enough, since that's where they first appeared. But this ATST at least is quite a bit better than the other ATSTs on this list so far. It's only got one minifigure, which is kind of a shame, but it at least has better coloring, better shaping, and it's so much better than that original one that LEGO made way back then. Now, coming in at number 15, I have the 2021 Imperial Shuttle. Now, I decided to consider this one an Endor set because the scene it's based on does take place on the moon, so this one I'm including on the list, but I won't be including something like the Imperial Inspection on the list since that one takes place on the Death Star. But anyways, this set, it's definitely a lot better than the other sets on this list. It uses good modern pieces, it at least looks better, it looks nice, smooth, and tiled off, but it's just not the greatest Imperial Shuttle. Compared to some of the other Imperial Shuttles, this thing just looks so awful, so atrocious. I really do not like this set much at all, and maybe that's just a personal bias because I like the 2015 one so much more, but this one had to go pretty far down at the bottom. Now next up, I got this figure pack. It's just a cheap little pack where you could get 3 figures in it, army build, your Scout Troopers a little bit maybe, and man, I just love this concept so much. I wish that LEGO would have kept this concept when they reintroduced it in 2022 instead of just throwing it back to the wayside and letting people forget about it again, because this is just such a nice concept. Now, next up here at number 13, I've got the Endor Action Battle Pack. This is just another one of those really cool concepts. Like, I get it's not really that appealing to adult collectors, but to kids, I think that this was awesome. They should have kept this on. I know they didn't sell that well, but it was still just starting out. I think that this is another one of those great concepts that I hope LEGO reintroduces one day, because yeah, unpopular opinion, but I kind of like these sets. They don't look the greatest, but they look like a lot of fun. Now, next up, I've got the Scout Trooper speeder bike. Now, I know that buildable figures weren't really that exciting to a lot of people, but I grew up on Bionicle. I really like buildable figures, and I think that this Technic speeder just looks so dang cool. I think that this is a really, really neat set. I wish that they had done more like this, where they'd give a buildable figure a smaller vehicle that works with the scale. Obviously, probably don't need a buildable figure size AT-AT, but a buildable figure size speeder bike is pretty cool.
Next up here at the number 12 spot, I've put the original speeder bike chase. Not really much to say about this other than it just looks like a great set for the time. As a kid, I would have loved to get one of these, just 2 speeders, the same design, and get 2 scout troopers in with it, plus a Luke. I think that, it's small, not much to say about it, but it's a pretty good set, especially for the time. And even if they were to do something like this today, I think that it would be pretty well received, and a lot of people would like it. And speaking of concepts getting re-released today, up next I have the modern day speeder bike diorama set. Now, this one isn't quite the same concept as the last one. The last one was more of a play set, kind of was an army builder. And this one is a display set. It looks good, but I know that a lot of people are really irked about those Luke and Leia minifigs. They could have looked a lot better, but the Scout Trooper fig is at least pretty dang good. Yeah, I still want to pick this one up. I haven't picked it up yet, but I think that the new updated speeder design just looks so phenomenal, so I had to put this one up this far. Now up next, I've got the original Ewok Attack Set. Now, I'll be quite honest, I didn't even know that this existed until I started making this video, but man, if I was a kid back when this came out, I would have loved it. This would have been such a cool set to me. It's obviously pretty dated now with those Ewok figures and those old Stormtrooper and Scout Trooper figures, but for the time I think it looked pretty good. It's got the little flying canopy thing, a catapult, speeder. It was honestly a pretty cool looking set. I can see so many kids having had such a fun time with this back in the day. Now, here at number 8, I've got the Rebel Endor Battle Pack. Now, this was actually the 3rd LEGO Star Wars set that I ever owned. Got it for my 8th birthday. I think that this is a pretty dang neat looking battle pack. It even still holds up pretty well to today, I'd say. Aside from that Stormtrooper, Scout Trooper figure. But, man, just a speeder and a tree, and I really love this battle pack concept where you could army build both of the armies at the same time instead of one at a time. I think that this was a great versus set. I loved it as a kid, and yeah, it's really a good battle pack still too, so definitely deserves this number 8 spot here. Now, here at number 7, I have the 2011 Ewok Attack Set. This was the bomb. I loved this set as a kid. It was absolutely jam-packed with play features. Not only did it come with another extra little speeder to the side, but it also just came with this amazing tree. It had a place where you could hide a figure inside. It had a flick-fire missile out front. It had a wooden beam that you could knock the Scout Trooper off the speeder with. It had a catapult up top. It had a log dropper up top. It's got a ladder. This thing had everything. This was such a fun set to me when I was little. I thought that it was just the bomb. It was so cool. I loved it, and I think this is still one of the greatest playsets ever made, just because of the sheer density of play features that they had in it. Now on to a more controversial pick here. I could not put this set any higher, and honestly, I should have put it a lot lower because I just really don't like this set. Back when I first saw it, I thought that, yeah, it looked amazing, it was huge, it did look good for the time, but just it does not hold up that well. I think the engines look really weird. That cockpit head area looks just awful. It does not look very good. Like, I always thought that it looked fine until I saw the brick vault version of this set, and I was blown away and could not believe that I ever thought that the official LEGO one ever looked good at all, because it really doesn't. It's just got funky proportions on the back and on the front. The wings are okay looking, it's tiled off enough, but yeah, this is just not that good of a set in my opinion. I know it's legendary across the community, but to me, I would never want to own this. Now, cracking the top 5 here, I've got the Scout Trooper helmet. This is such a good looking display set. If you've watched my helmet ranking video, you'll know that I put this one at the top because I just love the way it looks. I love everything about it. Such great shaping, such great detail. This is seriously such a good display set. I just love the way that this looks. I really want to own it. I'm looking at listings on eBay trying to get a good deal because I need this thing. Now onto what I think is the 4th best Endor set ever made. We got the UCS ATST, and this is definitely a far cry from the other ATSTs on this list. It's definitely a lot more studded compared to modern day sets, but man, the shaping and the detail on it is still so good, especially for the time. I think that this is definitely a top tier UCS set. It's got all the right detail. It's just that studded look is the only thing holding it back from a potential #1 spot, because I think that this is a really good set even by today's standards. Now coming in here at number 3, I've got the Endor bunker set. This is such a good looking set. I mean, maybe not looks wise by today's standards, but it looks like a ton of fun for kids. I never owned it, I always wanted it, but it's got an ATST, an Ewok flying around, a catapult, 2 speeder bikes, and of course the bunker. This just looks like one of the all-time ultimate Endor playsets. This is seriously good looking, and that ATST looks pretty dang nice too. Now, here at number 2, I've got the 2015 Shuttle Tidarium. This is a phenomenal set. It's the best Imperial Shuttle they've ever made, even better than the UCS Shuttle, in my opinion, as you can probably obviously tell. But this is a fantastic set. It looks so good, such good proportions, such good detail, and really good minifigures too. It just pains me so much that I couldn't put this at the #1 spot, because if it was up to me, I would, well, I guess it is up to me, but I know that I can't in good conscience put it at the #1 spot, which I'm guessing you can guess what that one spot will be. And that #1 spot just had to go to the 2013 Ewok Village. As much as I love the shuttle, I know that I couldn't use nostalgia as an excuse to put that at #1, because objectively, this is the better set. It is just so monstrous. I've got a cousin who has this set, and that's the only way that I know as much as I do about it. You know, I obviously watched reviews and videos on it as a kid, but man, seeing it in person is something else. There are so many play features on this, tons of minifigures. This is an insane set. Those Scout Troopers were pretty dang good looking for their time too. And man, just the amount of fun packed into this box is insane. If you own this set, I'm jealous of you, and man, you are one lucky duck, because this is a great set. Definitely the best Endor playset, or Endor any set that LEGO has ever made. This is so good. Well, I certainly appreciate you if you made it this far into the video. Thanks for watching, and check out one of these videos on the end screen now. Let me know down in the comments if you disagreed with any of my choices, especially that controversial UCS Shuttle Tidarium pick I made. I bet that's gonna definitely throw some people off, but anyways, that's about all I got for you. Thanks.